Hi everyone and welcome back to another video with me, Shruti Vashist. You're watching Living Our Ascension. So there's a prediction that I really wish that I had made and it came to me very strongly last year right around the corner of when we were moving into 2020. I didn't make it, I made a prediction video for this year, for 2020, predictions for ascending souls. I'll link it in the description box above. I did not make this prediction, and I want to share with you what it is. And it's, yeah, I hope that you'll enjoy listening to it, because it's kind of big, at least for me. I want you to know that all of you can, influence your reality and really just create any reality that you want. So before I tell you what it is and all about it, please find the link to my website below this video, where you can find all kinds of personal services with me, and also subscribe to this channel, like and comment below. Let me know what you think about this video. I also have some courses coming. The first course is going to be called manifesting a soulmate relationship. Manifest a soulmate relationship. I'm almost done with it, so I'm really excited. But anyway, back to the topic. So what is that prediction that I wish that I had made? And that prediction was that the air quality of Delhi is going to be really good. It's going to go to like normal. And if you know anything about India and the air quality here, it's one of the worst in the world, if not the worst. I don't know what the statistics are, but it's a really unbreathable air, essentially, that I'm in my mid-30s now, and every time that I've come to India, because I've been in and out, but essentially I've been India's been a part of my life, my whole life, because either I've lived here or I've been coming back, going and stuff. So every time I've been here, it's bad, it's really bad. It's the worst place to live if quality air is what you're desiring. But I had this, while I was making those, I was channeling those predictions for this year, and this prediction also came through, and it came through really strongly as well. I really felt it. It was like I live in a reality now where synchronicities and the guidance I'm getting, they just keep coming. It's an everyday moment to moment thing, so it's not a big deal when it happens. But there are still some realizations that come that are stronger than normal, and this was one of them. And I felt it, when it came. It was almost like a voice, even though I don't hear things. But it was almost like, me saying it to myself, like my higher self saying it. That, you don't have to worry about living here, the air quality. It's going to be so good, you won't believe it. And the air quality in Delhi will be good. And I felt it, and even though my mind did not believe it, in that moment, I really felt it. And of course, there was a little bit of back and forth about believing it, because it's such a big thing. I've known this place my whole life. My whole life I've seen and witnessed just how bad the air quality is, even in comparison to other places that have bad air quality. And somebody's telling me, or I'm telling myself, that it's going to be good air quality. It's going to turn around, it's going to shift, and become good. And I was like, how is this going to be possible? So there's a part of you that thinks that. That's why I didn't make that prediction, but I wish I had, because of course, as we all know, the lockdown happened, and the air quality shifted. But that's not, you might be wondering, so what's the big deal in this? This is because of the lockdown. But I want to take you deeper into that. And what I want to say is that there's a higher reality that plays out. So yes, you can say that there's a that the lockdown is not, of course, my doing. I didn't make it happen, I didn't plan it or anything, but it happened, and there's a greater reality that's playing out. But within that, we have our free will. So what I really desire, if you've been watching me for a few years, I'm always speaking about air quality and how I'm really sensitive to it, which is part of why, as long as I can help it, I was not living in Delhi. I was in different places, within India, outside India, whatever. But somehow I found myself here, you know, in recent months, and it was back then it was because of a relationship. But when I did come back, you know, that's when this prediction came through. Don't worry, you're here now. It's for something, a larger purpose. Something's happening here in India, in Delhi. You need to be here because, you know, we hold the light, like we're light holders when we're open to a certain degree. But the air quality is going to be good. You're not going to experience problems. And so there may be a higher reality, you know. We don't control every single thing, but our own reality and what we experience within that higher reality, that is up to us. So I want you to be humble, you know, like we should be humble and acknowledge that there's a this higher reality, you know. It's like the divine will, if you want to call it that. But at the same time, we have our own personal will, and that personal will flows within that divine higher will. So there is a place for you know, what that deep desire, that pure desire that you feel, that you want to be manifest, and it does manifest, and I've witnessed this so many times in my life now. So yeah, so anyway, since, you know, for a few months now, what happened was that, you know, when I came back to Delhi, that period where the bad air is most prevalent was ending, and it just somehow was happening that way. I don't think I planned it that way. It had to do with the relationship and stuff that was happening. I wanted to come back and be here in the same city, but my job there, you know, I quit and I came here. I was in another part of India, in the mountains, and then I came here, and so I had already not witnessed the worst part of when the air, those months when the air is at its worst. But you know, there was still a belief in me that I can't totally escape it. Like, it's Delhi, you know, and it's like famous for having the worst air ever. So since there was a part of me, there were a few days when I initially first came when the air was bad, but it was still not the worst, you know. It was actually pretty good for that time, than it usually is for some reason. And I was able to get by, you know, because I've had panic attacks in the past where I couldn't like get enough air, but that was like years ago, you know, and I'm much healthier as well now within myself, so then I can handle more of these extreme circumstances that happen in the 3D. So it's a little bit different, but it was the first time after so many years that I got to experience that air quality, because you know, bad air quality to this level, because I haven't lived in India for over a decade, you know. I came last year. Yeah, so the months of winter went by, and you know, it was just this short period, I think for a few weeks or something, where it was still bad, but it was still tolerable. And then after that, you know, when the spring comes, there's more movement of air and everything, and the air quality is actually quite good in Delhi for that brief period. So we experienced that, and then the lockdown started happening. So again, you know, this whole thing got extended, and until now, you know, there's days we have where it's kind of average air quality, but we also have good air quality, you know, now. And I noticed that a while ago, like a few weeks ago, it started going a little bit higher again, because, you know, things were opening up again from the lockdown. So in India, they keep doing this, you know, they announce a lockdown for 15 days, then they'll relax it, then, you know, they announce it again. So it's like on and off sort of a thing. Lately it has been anyway. And so the air quality was going bad again. And then the rain started happening. So when it rains, there's like, it's like this purification happens, and the air quality goes fine again. But we're still on, and then now the government has announced lockdown again, because they had opened up and they figured it's not a good idea, because the cases rose suddenly. And so now again we're experiencing good air. So what I want to tell you, why I'm making this and, you know, giving you so many details, is that when you know, you can give these reasons, you can explain away these reasons for how the air consistently has been good in my experience, you know. You can explain them away through so many factors. Oh, but you know, I mean, this isn't logical, you know, you came here and then it was the winter month, and now it was spring, so of course it was good, then there was lockdown. What do you have to do with it? But that's not what it is. I felt deep in my heart that I really wish, you know, give me this. I'm here in Delhi, and I'm here, and you know, I'm in service, and I desire purity, because I am purity, and I'm here in service. Serving is purity, but I want good air. And you know, then when that knowing came, it gave me more of that anchor to believe it as well. Even though, like I said, there was some part of me that didn't fully 100% believe it, because it just seemed like too big a manifestation, too big a desire. Why would my one desire trump over what the collective is creating, which is bad air, you know, the way that we live? But it happened. So this is an example of how it can happen. You know, you might think, well, I mean, even if the air changes, it you know, the weather is not in my hands. Like, I'm just this one little person, and even if the air changes, it'll happen for a while and then it'll go back to what it is. But you see, these circumstances have been lining up, and my experience of it has been more or less consistently, it's been good. You know, that I've never seen felt air quality this good in Delhi ever since I was born, really. You know, I mean, I don't know, maybe when I was really young it used to be all right, and then it got more crowded, but just whatever I remember, I don't remember Delhi air being breathable. So anyway, I thought that I would share this example with you, and it's just, you know, this motivation, this inspiration to let you know that you do create your own reality. And especially now, this is another point that I wanted to let you know, and my recent videos have been about this as well, that you know, the 3D reality has collapsed much more permanently, much more physically now. We've been speaking about it for years now, you know, people who are in the Ascension community. But ever since this whole coronavirus lockdown and everything happened, the masses have been going through a shift as well. So the mass reality, you know, when it shifts, it creates this momentum, and that you can just feel it now, that we are living in the 5th dimension. It's much more seamless. It's here. It feels like we've entered it, you know. And this is an example of it, where the 3rd dimension, of course, it exists. So this reality of bad air does exist, you know, but it's not. But what that 5D reality, the change that is required in the world, you know, and the natural order is the main reality, and that trumps it. That trumps the lower reality, the 3rd dimensional reality. So that is what the state that we're living in now. So if you really claim something and you really believe it, it's a pure desire, and you're here in service, there is really nothing that you can't create, especially now. And in the past, it used to be that, you know, yeah, I'm living in the 3rd dimension, and the 5th dimensional frequencies, I experience them once in a while, you know, when I can hold my own within all that's going on, then it's there. But now it feels much more easier than that, and it feels a little bit more opposite. It doesn't feel like you are in the 3rd dimension experiencing some 5th dimensional things and experience, you know, being able to be in flow. It feels like we are in flow now. That is the main reality. And you know, the 3rd dimension does exist as well, because we get to experience it, because we're here to serve it, you know. So it exists, but it's not going to trump what we choose. So what that looks like in the physical will change drastically. You know, if let's say I want to continue experiencing good air, I don't know, maybe I'll be here, maybe I'll move somewhere else, maybe, you know, permanently the air quality will change. I don't know what it is, as my personal example, if this is my ongoing desire. But I want you to know that don't try and make it through logic, you know, that I live in this place and it's just impossible for this to happen, or I have these limitations and it's just impossible. How? My brain doesn't see it. I don't see how. And just trust when this knowing comes to you, and it's so strong, and you have these knowings also come, you know, they only come to those to us in those moments when we have that pure desire and we have aligned with it first. So yeah, so happy manifesting, happy living on the new earth and experiencing and realizing what all is possible now, how it has shifted. Of course, I'll keep you updated with whatever I feel. And if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. And that's it. I'll see you very soon in the next one.